ask all to rise and uncover. Lord, thank you for bringing us all here together today. Thank you for the wonderful blessings of friends and family and the evening we are about to enjoy. Keep from harm all those in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, and do not let them be discouraged. Help them to feel your presence. In your name we pray, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
of all of us at Home for Veterans, I want to welcome you to our inaugural gala. I'm a proud member of the Board of Directors. I am Chief Warrant Officer 4, a warrant officer in the United States Army Reserves. I've had the privilege and the opportunity to deploy twice to Iraq for a year each. I'm a counterintelligence officer. I'm proud to say that one of my sons is also serving on active duty right now. Want to introduce at this time our Chair and CEO, Francesca Di Paolo.
First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our elite valor sponsors, our generous donors, and our dedicated board of directors, and especially our distinguished veterans and servicemen and women for being here tonight. Please join me in giving them a round of applause as none of this would be possible without them. The theme of tonight's event is overcoming adversity, and I'd like to share why this theme resonates so personally with me and our organization. Homes for Veterans was founded by my father, Douglas DePaula, who recognized that a significant portion of our veteran population wasn't receiving the comprehensive care that they truly deserved. Many government programs laden with red tape were only established after witnessing the devastating toll on our soldiers returning from the Middle East post 9/11. While some veterans were prioritized, many others were left behind. My father believed that every veteran deserved care, regardless of when they served or how they were injured. He was a true patriot and deeply loved our veterans. In 2020, I lost my dad to COVID-19. It was a profound loss for my family, but I immediately knew I had to continue his mission through Homes for Veterans, even in the face of the pandemic. For the last 4 years, overcoming adversity has been the guiding theme of my life. This theme also mirrors the experiences of the veterans and military families I've met along the way. Veterans make up only 7% of our nation's population, with post 9/11 veterans representing a mere 1%. 60% of veterans also have a family member who has served. This small percentage of our population shoulders the responsibility for our collective safety and security. And they all return home changed in some way, sacrificing their mental and physical health so that we don't have to. Maybe a family member tries to help, but they too are struggling with their own limitations. You fall, your injury worsens, but removing the tub is too expensive. A remodel can cost over $15,000. So what do? Your injury isn't combat related, and you're not a post 9/11 veteran, so the VA doesn't cover it. This is where Homes for Veterans comes in. We fund these critical projects for veterans who have been overlooked. These life-changing, barrier-free modifications prevent veterans from re-injuring themselves at home and alleviate the burden on family members who care for them. More importantly, these changes restore independence and confidence to our veterans, helping to combat PTSD and reduce anxiety. Let me share a story of Mr. Rodriguez, a Marine who trained at Camp Lejeune in 1977 and was exposed to toxic drinking water. In 2021, 44 years later, he was diagnosed with liver cancer directly linked to that water contamination. Initially, Mr. Rodriguez was denied his health benefits. But in 2012, thanks to a bill signed by President Obama, veterans like him began to receive compensation for their exposure to this contaminated water. Still, despite receiving medical benefits, he was not entitled to a free bathroom. But thanks to generous donors like you, we were able to create a wheelchair-accessible bathroom for Mr. Rodriguez while he awaited a liver transplant. For over 20 years, the military denied responsibility, and many veterans continue to fight for justice. As I stand here tonight, I can't help but reflect on my own personal journey of loss and resilience. Losing my father to COVID in 2020 was one of the hardest things that I've ever faced. But through that loss, I found an even deeper purpose, continuing his legacy and ensuring that no veteran is left behind, forgotten, or abandoned. My father had a vision to help as many veterans as possible, and I'm proud to say that with your support, Homes for Veterans has made tremendous strides. We've completed over 130 barrier-free projects across 19 states, providing life-changing modifications to veterans and their families. But there is so much more work to be done. The need is great, and the resources are few. Tonight, I am asking for your help. We cannot continue to grow and serve our veterans without the support of people like you. Your donations will directly impact veterans who are struggling to live safely and independently in their own home. By contributing, you become a part of the movement that gives back to the men and women who sacrifice everything for us. You help us build ramps, widen doorways, create safe and accessible spaces that restore dignity and independence. This is more than an organization. It's a community. It's a family. And together we are creating a future where no veteran is left behind. I invite each of you tonight to be a part of that mission. Donate, get involved, and help us to continue this incredible work. My father's legacy lives on in every project that we complete, in every veteran that we help, and with your support, we carry that legacy even farther. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight, and thank you for standing with us. Let's make sure our veterans always have a home to come back to.
Now let's welcome Rudy Alcidi. Rudy's been a dedicated member of the American Legion for over 23 years.
I'm the Vice Commander of Post 108 in Little Falls, New Jersey. We've had our chairlifts now for a couple of years, and they've been a real lifesaver. We have veterans who served in every conflict since World War II. Many of our members are disabled, some as a direct result of their service, and others because of age and illness. In either case, we have made great use of our chairlifts. We try to look out for each other, encourage all members to keep active and socialize. Having our chairlifts make it a lot easier for us to complete this mission of helping each other. Just among a group of members who are here tonight to celebrate this great organization, we have personally taken advantage of our lifts because we have experienced strokes, hip replacement, heart surgery, heart attacks, knee replacements. Without the chairs, our life certainly would have been different. We thank you very much, and we thank you very much for your support.
Now let's welcome Herb Britka, the commander of Post 108 and a West Point graduate, outstanding.
As the chief said, Army vet, 2 Iraq wars, and I'm the Post 108 commander. You heard Rudy present the impact statement for our Legion post. This is still cutting out.
You heard Rudy present the impact statement. I'd also like to add that without your assistance, this project likely would have never happened. Like a lot of other Legion posts, we simply don't have that kind of money. And I can 100% say that we would not have any accessibility in our building without the generosity of this organization and the sponsors out in the audience. Thank you so much. Without stealing the thunder of the keynote speakers, I do want to talk just very briefly about the importance of organizations like this and the importance of your generosity. I do safety and security consulting, mostly federal work. On the security side of things, I'll just say that keeping veterans and the elderly in their homes as long as possible has tremendous societal impact. It specifically has the potential to reduce crime. You could write a master's thesis to prove this point, but you didn't come here to hear me drone on about crime stats. Just realize that your work keeping vets in their homes goes beyond the assistance to the immediate veteran and benefits all of society. What do you think it's like as a patient? What do you think it's like for veterans that don't know how to navigate the system? For veterans that get a bad caseworker? For veterans that don't have all their paperwork in order? How do you think they treat veterans that need non-standard care? And the guys that can't get care? I'll give you a hint, it's not good and it really does hurt these people. And they wonder why guys just give up, why guys are taking extreme and permanent measures. Actually, they don't wonder because they don't care. But you all do. And that's why you're needed. Francesca and your organization and all of you donors, that's why you're needed. All right, you're not just improving lives, you're saving lives. When some guy thanks you for putting in a chairlift or a bathtub, and he's got tears in his eyes, you didn't give him a chairlift or a bathtub. You brought him out of a dark, dark spot if he's crying. Trust me, he's not going to say it, but you did it. You pulled off that straw that was going to break his back and gave him another day. And that's why you guys are needed. And on behalf of all my brothers and sisters you've helped and will help in the future, thank you and God bless.
My name is Kelly Brown, Sergeant Brown retired, and I am one of the very fortunate recipients of the amazing work provided by Homes for Veterans. Serving 8 years in the New Jersey Army National Guard, personal physical maintenance and performance were daily expectations I eagerly sustained. I loved challenging myself physically and mentally, no matter if it was in the gym or on a mountain somewhere. I was pushing my limits. In no way would I believe that one morning I would wake up paralyzed. After months of increasing migraines and small sporadic muscle spasms, what came to mind was the Army's famous philosophy, drink more water. So I did exactly that. I figured I was dehydrated and fatigued, but nothing to be concerned with until it was. One morning, while in the daily rush to get the kids to school, I knew something was wrong. Within minutes of them getting on their buses, I was on the floor, unable to move or breathe. Thankfully, I felt it coming and had called for help. The next few months of appointments and hospital visits are a complete fog. I lost control of my body and my life. My limbs and cognitive functions were failing me. The road to a diagnosis was nothing short of traumatic. I fought my body and mind daily, refusing to give in and give up. But my life was continuing around me on full speed, and I was lagging, trying to adapt and keep pace. Getting my children on the bus, laundry, cooking, showers, the basics I never put any thought towards, were now monumental tasks I longed to be able to complete. Logistically, my life was unattainable for me. Spending a portion of my time wheelchair-bound and others with aided devices, nothing was easily accessible anymore. The road to recovery and accessibility through the VA was detoured with red tape and constant outsourcing to community care that rarely came to fruition. I was drained and becoming hopeless that I'd ever feel normal again. Until one of my fellow veterans told me about Homes for Veterans and their mission to help people like me reclaim their lives through safety and accessibility. Homes for Veterans answered the call. They were there immediately. No red tape, no running in circles, just direct support and action. The project was a big one, but it would have a big impact on my daily life and the lives of everyone in and out of the home. Safe, accessible front entry stairs and an accessible lift. Safe for all who enter and exit my home, rendering me therapies and or emergency aid when needed. But most of all, safe and accessible for my personal daily life. Being able to get my children on the bus was a goal that was graciously fulfilled by Homes for Veterans. Slowly, I was able to reclaim my independence in my life. Mom was back. Homes for Veterans' dedication to the job and mission were unwavering. Their logistical execution was only outshined by their emotional support and constant commitment to showing up. I don't know that I could ever truly express what Homes for Veterans has provided myself and my family. The peace of mind, ease of access, safety, they're simple to explain. It's the feelings of being heard and being seen that so greatly resonate with me on a daily basis as I utilize the generous gift I have been given. I want to thank Homes for Veterans for all that they have done for myself and continue to do for the veteran community. Your contributions are invaluable. Thank you.
I was a sergeant too before I went to the dark side and became an officer, just so. It's my pleasure to present our first award this evening, the Distinguished Service Award to Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. We are honored, I know I'm honored, to recognize his extraordinary service and leadership tonight. And his colleague, Paul Hoffinger, will accept the award on his behalf.
I'm so honored to be part of that organization. It's called America's Future. He knows exactly what's going on here, and I want you to hear some of his words. But this will be in his hands by tomorrow. So very grateful to all of you for caring. Thank you.
In the service to our country, we are always going to face adversity. And when we have military members who go overseas, who are so willingly, and I know that there's so many in there, who are so willing to give their life for our country, for causes that they rarely understand, or in some cases they'll never understand, in places that they would rather not be, and in support of people, in some cases don't even want them there, and yet they're still American soldier, and I'm representative of, when I use the word soldier, representative of every member that serves in the armed forces. That person, that soldier, is so ready to give their very life for our country, and many tragically do. As Abraham Lincoln talked about, the last true measure of devotion in the cause of our nation, and for the freedom of our nation, for the unity of our nation, and then many others are wounded. And many are severely wounded. And in my time in the service, the one thing that always, the toughest thing for me was when I got to know, because I deployed into harm's way as a lieutenant, I deployed as a captain, I deployed again as a major, I deployed again as a colonel, full colonel, and then of course as a flag officer for the better part of, 10 years, back and forth, off and on different deployments. So, for me, it's a total of 5 years in various combat operations around the world. But I was always one to get to know our soldiers. I wanted to know the soldiers, and certainly in my platoon, in my battalion, in my, in my brigade, and in other formations that I led. And you would get to know their families, and you would get to know their children. And especially you knew when somebody was, having a baby, or they had already had a baby. And, some don't come back. Those that don't come back, that you know their families, and you have to work with their families, and you're trying to comfort them. And then those that are severely wounded. And I've gotten to know so many that have had very, very severe wounds that, are so debilitating, yet they, and when I'm around them, they inspire me. I mean, they lift my spirits up, because I look and I start to feel sorry for myself. I look at them and I'm like, and they're like, don't feel sorry for me. I survived, and I'm going to lift myself up, and I'm going to find a way to inspire others. And boy, do they inspire others. They certainly, speak for myself, they inspire me, because when you look at you're all sitting at a nice event there, and you look at the person on your left, the person on your right, and we look around sometimes, and we have these lives that we lead, and yet we tend to forget about those service members who, once they once they leave service, and this is why organizations like yours is such an important organization. I mean, I can't overemphasize it. We actually, you know, and I think most of the folks in there who serve, they know this acronym ETS. You terminate from the service, right? You terminate from the service. And it's a really difficult thing, especially those that have served in combat, because you develop a bond and a closeness. And when you get wounded in some capacity, we have a tendency to forget those men and women. We really, really do. And that's why organizations such as you guys, the Homes for Veterans, you're vital. You're vital to a connection that must stay bonded with those members who have served our military in such a dramatic way. I want people to reflect on the greatness of the people, of the men and women who volunteer for our military, and then they come into a situation where they are terminated from the service, and they depart the service, and they go back to their communities, especially for these really severely disabled veterans that we do have, and we have many of them. They need to feel a connection, and so your organization and what you have done and what you have achieved and what you continue to do is you give those soldiers, those service members, a connection. And believe me, I know, deep inside my heart that they so appreciate that.
It's my great pleasure to present our next Distinguished Service Award to Staff Sergeant Granville.
I spent 9 years in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard as an infantryman, with tours of Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. We graduated high school, had a nice summer. We landed in Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training. The date was September 1st, 2001. Y'all know what happens 2 days later. Then off I went to Iraq with the 109th Infantry. I saw the big picture of wearing that uniform. This isn't about me. It's about us. Being a part of something bigger than yourself. September 28, 2005. While on patrol and Browley fighting vehicles, a vehicle hits a roadside bomb full of white phosphorus. All 5 killed in action. A few weeks later, I took my 2-week leave and went back home to Pennsylvania. And I'm seeing flags half-mast. The names of those who passed away on businesses. God bless the 109th. And I'm realizing not just a huge toll that this take on the 109th Infantry, but also our little community northeastern Pennsylvania. We got another warning order for Afghanistan being attached to the 103rd Armor. Another volunteer mission. I raised my hand right away. We're part of what's called the Provincial Reconstruction Team, or PRT for short. And their job is working with local government in Afghanistan to help build their infrastructure. On this 4-day mission, we're looking for a site where we're going to build a school for the village of Zorman. And on that final day, we pick up an Afghan sub-governor and take a different route to where we have to go. And in the distance, the other side of the valley, we're being observed. Just something we notice. Luckily, we get to our objective. We're going to head back to base. We decided to pull out our Blue Horse trackers, or our maps, electronic maps in our vehicles. Decided to take a different route instead of going back that way. First time being there for 3 months, seeing bright green vegetation. Afghanistan is a mountain, deserty climate. So seeing green vegetation, I'm like, geez, it's like back home. It's beautiful here. The next thing I remember, I saw nothing but black. You know when you put your head underwater and you hear a faint noise, like somebody's talking? That's the best way to describe that, what I heard in that moment. My God. My feet are backwards and full of blood. The Humvee completely ripped to shreds. We just hit a roadside bomb. I heard my buddy, Joe Hoda, yell, "Get my body back." People are killed. Is it us? Is it them? What's going on? Doc started working on my wounds. Doc, how's everybody else doing? They're doing fine. They're good. We're going to get you out of here. And they transferred me right over behind one of the Embraers. And when they carried me over, they walked me right past 2 body bags. It was the remains of Major Scott Haggerty of Stillwater, Oklahoma, the gentleman who took my seat that day, which is why I'm still standing in front of you today. And I'm not Black Hawk, right? My mind is just racing. Like, I just started like getting in my head immediately. What the hell am I gonna do with the rest of my life? Looking at my legs, all backwards and beat up. Doctor comes in later that day, he gives a lowdown. Your right leg we're able to salvage. It needs a few more operations. We think it's gonna be okay. Your left leg we're gonna have to amputate. Jeez, heavy stuff, man. Doc, do you think I could keep it? Oh, well, you keep it. It's non-weight bearing, so you're gonna be in wheelchair crutches the rest of your life. So, Doc, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Do you think I could keep it? Now, my time on Walter Reed, ladies and gentlemen, is now 2008. The surge in the Iraq War happened a year prior. So there's tons of men and women all around me. I think I heard General Flynn talk a little bit about it. Double amputees, triple amputees, people who lost their vision, burn casualties. You're thinking of it as a very somber place. I gotta tell you something. It's a complete opposite. That the military's good at is giving each other a hard time. And the ball busting is still there. Army and the Marines are still duking it out. What's a better branch? Marines. Nobody wants the Air Force. Back in Pennsylvania, I get an invite for a black tie event in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's a week before Christmas, a holiday event. Look at my phone, I see it's my mom. I listen to the voicemail. She sounds distraught. Earl, you need to call me immediately. Wait, what's that about? I give her a call back. Talk to me. While on AGR active duty orders, my twin brother, Staff Sergeant Joe Granville, takes his own life. Worst day of my life, New Jersey. And my mindset went right back to when I joined the military, making it all about me. Feeling sorry for myself. Playing the victim. Thinking the world owes me everything. Where's playing a victim get you in life? Nowhere. You're absolutely right. As an organization, Home for Veterans, understand the mission at hand to build up that community, not just for their physical well-being, but also mental as well. Because on those days, life's going to get heavy. And the relationships you build with your community, understand you have the passion of making life better for our disabled veterans, but you also have somebody else to lean on when the weight gets heavy. What Cindy represents, ladies and gentlemen, is a heavy mental adversity that we all face as human beings once in a while. As a team, or a community, we all carry that weight together. As a community, ladies and gentlemen, we all carry this. The relationships we build in the mission. So nobody carries this by themselves. Appreciate it.
Where's Gunny?
My name is Guard Sergeant Mary Monaco, 9th Sporting Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, just think of what that staff sergeant said. We do what we have to do because the help of the men and women of this grateful nation. Everyone says this nation is going down a dark and dirty road. And I said, hell no, because look what we have here today.
We're deeply grateful for their partnership.
And in the beginning, I just sort of felt like, here's this young girl, and I've been doing this for 21 years now as a volunteer, working with our wounded military. And I thought, I'm going to convey some stuff to her. I'm going to do it along the way. And I think I have maybe conveyed some things to her, but more importantly, I have learned that from this amazing woman. She has taught me that there is no such thing as saying it cannot happen. There have been times when she'd say, this is our next project, and I'll say, oh my goodness, do you know what you're getting yourself into? How can you make this happen? And she does. And she does it with such vigor and passion and dignity that she provides to all the veterans, and that's just the goal I think of everyone in this room, so thank you so much.
Not only has she supported an entire accessible bathroom project, but she's also provided profound emotional support as a companion to a veteran spouse. Please join me
in celebrating Lorraine DePaolo with a Distinguished Service Award.
There's a video, a documentary that was in 5 film festivals, and a story that I wrote after my husband passed away. It was called Another Life to Live. We had a great life. He had spinal cord injury. And my voice never shakes. This is ridiculous. In any event, so I got involved with Wounded Warriors. We are representative here. With Save the Children, I went to Lebanon to visit the refugee camps like Lebanese and Syrian. And I said, what else am I going to do? I still work on Wall Street. And so I got involved with veterans and with, and then one day, I don't know how I saw this, Hope for the Veterans, but I saw the name DePaola. And I'm DePaolo. So I called up and Joan answered the phone. I said, who are you? And finding out that they do what we did in terms of accessibility. We built our own, we designed our own, whatever the case may be. So I got involved with them, and in fact now I'm involved with someone that she called me up, we need your help, of this veteran in Augusta, Georgia. And I saw the pictures of his home and the neglect and everything else, and I'm personally involved with them. But I gotta tell you, I met with the new CEO of Wounded Warriors, Walt Pruitt. He came to my office and we spent 2 hours. And I'm sure you can appreciate this. I said, why the hell? I said, no veteran, no soldier should ever leave the service without being forced to go through a period of therapy. I don't care, they have to be, they cannot be discharged without doing that. That's number 1. And number 2 is the guarantee, of course, as you all know, of a guarantee of an accessible home, insurance, et cetera, and a job. So anyway, Francesca's given me a lot of credit. I don't know why, but in any event, I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much.
So, from the Catholic Charities, New Jersey SOS Next, Knights of Columbus would like to present Home for Veterans with a $4,000 check. Will that work? The reason we're doing it is because Francesca is Italian. Let's hear it for all the Italians in the audience. Francesca, you will do everything you do. We love you. Tonight people talk about community, and we're honored to have you as a part of our community.
Thank you so much. David Pearson is a community leader. I'm honored to have him and everybody here today. So they did at Harry's gift cards, scars and stripes. We have amazing baskets. Is everyone ready? Thank you guys. And Yahaira is going to be donating the other half of the 50-50 back to the audience.